Hello guys, so today I'm gonna be doing like a market update and why I'm gonna be rotating into altcoins in the next coming weeks, and why I think altcoins will have like a 20 to 30% pump. So before we even get into altcoin, let's talk a little bit about SPX, Bitcoin and all that. Let's go into SPX first. So right now I have like a blank chart without any levels, so I can show you guys which levels I'm eyeing and how I'm seeing those levels. So first, let's go on SPX. Let's go to 3 months. There isn't much here. There is a level here. Sorry, level right here. That's relevant to the price action right now. There is a level here on monthly. Level here which has been tested, but we're gonna still have it marked. Let's go to weekly now. Weekly looks good. Holding this level here, just tested as support. On weekly, candle close doesn't necessarily look as good. Looks undecisive, but still, like most of the time frames are telling us that it's gonna continue to the upside. Let's go daily. Daily structure looks good here until these lows get lost. It just looked like I was testing the weekly / this daily swing here, and now it looks like it's gonna be good for upside, right? So what I want to talk about on SPX first is why it's like looking really good so far. First of all, it's holding the daily trend. It hasn't broken structure, so no real reason to be ultra bearish, of course. Apart from only 4 hour is the one that looks really bad, because you can see here it was uptrending here, structure was lost, retested on the monthly, gave a lower high, printed initial low, now it printed a lower high, and now it looks like it could continue to the upside. But of course we look at the time frames, the bigger time frames on 4 hours, just telling us maybe how locally it will look. But if you look at the most recent 4 hour candle, it retested the monthly and held. So that might mean on Monday we will gap towards upside and continue grinding up. So 4 hour, yeah, looks bearish, but the big picture is still telling us to the upside until this low that was just created gets lost, and the lows are getting holding so far. So SPX is looking good so far. Also, weekly is gonna close above the monthly, so that's another bullish sign. So I don't want to get caught up in SPX right now, so let's move already to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, another blank chart, because I want to show you guys the levels I'm eyeing. First level I'm looking at is the most obvious one, previous all-time highs. Why? If you look at daily, it's pretty clear. This level has been holding us from new all-time highs, and pretty much was one of the strongest levels in the recent price action. If you look at 4 hour, this is why we dipped on Tuesday, because we struggled to gain previous all-time highs. Pretty much the same thing as here. Weekly 2 doesn't look too good. So unless we have like a weekly close above, I don't think we're gonna get all-time highs soon. But once we get a weekly close above, that's when you should be aiming for like 120Ks, 125Ks. But let's look a little bit more locally. So this is the first level I'm marking here. Is previous all-time high. We have this tested weekly. At the bottom we don't really have much apart from like this, even though this one has been tested loads of times, but we're gonna still have it marked. Now let's go back to daily. Oh, actually, we skipped monthly, my bad. Let's go to monthly. Let's mark this level here. So in reality, what looks to me right now, let's remove this weekly since it's so close to monthly anyway. What here the price action is telling me, it's obviously getting buys at the bottoms and it's getting sells at the top. So why complicate it and try to find like the next big move? You just trade, buy the lows and sell the highs, right? Like this looks more like a range that any like clear uptrend or downtrend. So why would you like get caught up in trying to find the next big move when you can just buy the range lows, sell the range highs, and make a lot of money? So that's like my main idea why I'm gonna be starting to bid alts in the next coming weeks or days. It really depends how fast or slow I get my move, because this looks like it's just a big range. It looks like it's holding, it's getting buys on the monthly. If this monthly closes below here, then I would be really concerned. Then the major level that it was gained is now lost again, and then I would be looking for a retest of the monthly and then short it, look for this liquidity here, right? So let's zoom in a little bit more. So what chart is telling me right now that we are just likely ranging between the previous all-time high and the monthly level. But also telling me that now we should pump a little bit too, because this liquidity over here was taken by this move when everyone was calling, oh, bull market is over whatever. That's what just happened there, was just liquidity getting taken here. Then people were selling the range highs, and now we got a dip into range lows again. Yeah, so that's the whole idea for me on daily, to buy the range lows, look to sell the range highs, which, and why I'm gonna be rotating into alts is also because typically when Bitcoin is ranging like here, there's of course a few times we didn't do that when we were raging, like the alts weren't skyrocketing. Like I can't remember exactly which price action, like I think around here when we were ranging, instead of alts pumping we were actually dumping on alts. But that's why we are gonna be observing Bitcoin dominance and try to catch the next move on alts. So yeah, what price is telling me right now is just a range. If we draw a box like right here between the previous all-time highs and the monthly, we can also see that it, where it's rejecting right now, it's just rejecting of the mid-range of this big range. So if you want to scalp alts or alts on Bitcoin, this is the move you're looking for right now, and then sell here. Or you're looking to test the range lows again, you wait for structure shift, you long around here, you sell partial here, and then you sell partial here. So that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin right now. It just looks like a big ass range. On hourly still looks okay. If it starts hourly starts closing below like right here, then it's gonna be a little bit bearish. Then it's likely that it's gonna contest the range lows, but as of right now it looks good for upside. No real reason all over time frame to be bearish. So why I think money will flow into alts as of right now. Let's go into Bitcoin dominance. We can see it's a pretty clear uptrend, right? There isn't like a single time on this chart. Of course there's this one which has a little bit more history, which we had like a few dumps here, but since we're not gonna be going all the way back here on the price action, I'm just gonna be looking into the futures Bitcoin dominance chart. And what do I see here? If you go to weekly, this was just the one big red candle. That was when ETH pumped hella, like a 25% daily candle, and where alts followed most of the move. And ever since then, it's just been slowly grinding towards upside, but with clear dips and rotations into alts. So what I like to do on Bitcoin dominance, I don't really like to overcomplicate the chart, look for too much swing levels. Obviously, I have one here, order block here on daily, which was pretty important. And we also have like this swing here, which was top swing here. Retested a support, gained, pumped, and then eventually after it lost, we had a pretty big dump. So first, what the chart is telling me, just based on these few swing levels here, it rejected pretty hard, but still the structure is holding. So what I'm gonna do here is zoom in a little bit, and I'm gonna pull a regression trend from like all the way here to all the way here. And now we can see a little bit more clear what's happening. It's clearly that it's just slowly grinding towards upside, but it's clearly respecting the top of the trend and respecting the bottom of the trend. So right now on Bitcoin dominance, it's rejected from the top of the trend. It's just holding here for a bit because Bitcoin started dumping, and it's natural, like 70% of the time when Bitcoin dumps, Bitcoin dominance starts to rise up, and that's where alts get obliterated. So what I'm looking for is, if it starts grinding up Bitcoin from here, I'm looking for it to lose these lows, and that's where I'm gonna be buying most of the alts. Or if Bitcoin goes to test range lows, it's likely that Bitcoin dominance is gonna look to retest maybe like around here and then reject, and that's what I'm gonna be looking for if it tests a range lows on Bitcoin. So I'm really looking to just play the trend here, not to overcomplicate. Try to enter right around here on some alts, look to TP here, TP some here, and then the bottom of the trend. Or if the blue box aligns with the trend, that would be even better, because now you're having two confluences that align with each other that you should be TPing at this place, right? So yeah, that's basically what I'm looking for, is to play the range lows or just the continuance of the hourly trend so far. And Bitcoin dominance is telling us that it's likely gonna give at least like I think at least like a retest here. There is a chance they could go here and then continue to the upside, but I really think it will retest to around the blue box area. That's basically my plan. But I'm gonna be taking partials to be safe, or at least covering my position, like right around here on this middle line. So now let's go over alts I'm eyeing to long. Let's go into here. First of all, the most obvious choice, the strongest coins in the past few days, and just this move since the April, pretty strong. How I like to trade alts, and in general, I don't really like to trade like the weaker coins, coins like TIA on instance, that just daily structure and weekly just looks absolute horrible. Obviously sometime there will be a scam pump where it maybe does something like this and then rejects again, but I'd rather long something that's the structure is already telling me that's to the upside. So if you look at hype here, I mean, it's pretty clear. To be fair, there isn't much entries here. Maybe somewhere like around here of this 4 hour. Wait, give me a sec. Like right around here. If it gives a good retest, like a 4 hour higher low, put the stops below this low, target new all-time highs. This would be a pretty good swing entry here. Obviously the RR isn't good. How you can get like a better RR is you wait for the initial test of this level. This is for like a limit order entry. How you can get like a better RR is look for it to either lose the level and then regain it, and then you can put a stop here, or you can wait for it to touch, shift trend, and then enter like right here, and then have the stop loss like right around here, and then look for new highs. So this is like a setup I would probably wait for on 4 hour. Look for a higher low and then target new highs. Another coin that's been really interesting for me is Coin. I've been waiting for this level to be touched for way too long, and I honestly think they might just front run it. Like right here, what the chart is telling me, it was clear high here, lower high, shifted the trend once we lost this, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower low, shifted the trend. Now it's looking for a higher low, right? So now this is the place where you should be looking for Filecoin longs. And on USDT pair, we can see that it could be a nice entry of the 1 hour higher low, like right around here, this price. Test this hourly swing level, have your stop below here, and then yeah, target either, let's go to 4 hour, target like this bottom that was like pretty well respected, support that was turned into resistance. You can target either that, or if let's go back to Bitcoin dominance, if it even breaks below here, you might be due for new highs. But again, if you're gonna long from here, even if you catch like a move to around here, like to 1.45, 1.47, this is a 5.5 RR trade. This is really good, and if you combine it with other alt longs, you could get some really nice gains on here. But I really think if Bitcoin dominance does what I think it will do, it will at least come around this area, which is still pretty good RR. So that's the first long I'm looking for. Inch hasn't really been showing much strength as of right now, but I know this coin, when it starts to pump, it pumps really hard, and right now it's at range lows, but here are also range highs. We can also see like a clear deviation and why it dumped from here. But as of right now on Inch, there isn't like a clear setup, but if it starts moving, I'm gonna be observing this coin like really hard. And another coin I really want to look to re-long, I had a long, I covered it on my last video, is Aave. Why Aave? Because it's probably the only altcoin that has been holding structure other than hype, daily structure. Like right now it's holding these lows, and now it's looking for a retest. I'm gonna be either looking for to long like around here, right around this price, 271, and look for new highs, probably like a setup like here. Like right now it doesn't really necessarily look best because it lost the hourly structure, but if it gives a good bounce, gives a good higher low, this could be a pretty good play for a trade like this, which is a 5RR trade. Yeah, and that's basically what I'm gonna be looking for in the recent coming weeks. If you want to see more live action and me being a little bit more active, you can join the RRR Discord. In the description, it's completely free, and we're helping a lot of our members with technical analysis and taking trades. So yeah, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice day.